Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new video here today and some more F1 2020 My Team content. Today we are here for another race and it's the Hungarian Grand Prix in this episode. If you guys missed the last one at Silverstone, guys, my home race, the team's home race in which we ran a very special livery, go check it out guys. I'll leave it linked up in the top right hand corner of your screen. And also one more quick plug I want to get out of the way guys. We might hit 49,000 subs today guys. So if you are new to the channel or you're watching for the first time, hit that red subscribe button guys, it massively helps me out, and we're on the road to 50k guys, and I can't wait to see where the channel goes in the rest of the year. But without further ado, let's get today's episode underway. So let's jump into it, and the first thing is the weather forecast, and this weekend that looks pretty positive, no rain expected. And also worth noting in terms of the R&D graph, some real big progress has been made. We are now the 6th quickest team, but we've brought a big upgrade package this weekend, and we are right behind Renault, Racing Point, Ferrari and Red Bull now. It's really close. You could say, to be fair, we are upper midfield, you know, we've got another upgrade on the way for the aerodynamics, a major upgrade actually, so that's going to help us out on the rear downforce, and that might even take us above Renault and Racing Point. For this weekend though, we are going to run a used engine all weekend. Power unit number 1, we're going to try and squeeze out every last bit of performance we can out of the engine, so we are going to be running that power unit this weekend for the entire one, and hopefully we have no issues in the race, because it could be pretty touch and go, pretty close from, you know, in that regard. But here we are then in practice, and we're going to jump into things. And to be fair, this is a track that it's a bit mixed for me. You know, I do like Hungary, but I've never been particularly quick around here. But this weekend, we seemed pretty on the pace, to be fair. In terms of resource points, we scored a pretty decent amount. We're now up to 712 points combined, and a very small gain on the acclaim, but we actually lost some ourselves in that one, so that was quite surprising. We lost a bit of acclaim, so it seems like we're kind of stuck at level 14 at the moment, which is frustrating. But with that said, we now move into qualifying here at Hungary, and we're going to see how this goes. And like I said, I'm feeling mixed because the pace seems okay, but it's not my best track in terms of me personally, so let's see how it all shakes out. First of all though, Q1, you can see on screen in the bottom right of the engine we're running with this weekend, which is pretty damn worn, to be fair. We're going to try and hopefully not have any major issues with it, and we should be able to get through the weekend, hopefully. But with that said, we're now going to jump into our actual time lapse, and this was my first attempt in Q1, and we're going to see how this goes as we make our way through the final couple of corners, getting a little bit loose there with some oversteer through the penultimate corner. Now through the final one, keeping it nice and tight, and then back on the gas, opening up the DRS, across the line we go, and we are going to go P4, which is not bad actually, behind Norris and Perez. They're ahead of Sainz and Magnussen, but eventually we had to go out again because we was P13 and others were improving, so we went out again. We was the last car on track, and once I realised everyone crossed the line and done their laps, and I knew I was safe, I actually decided to back off and give up on the lap and save the tyres and the engine. So I knew I was through because everyone finished their laps and I was going to be the last car across the line. So we are going to progress into Q2, and also Mick Schumacher as well on P12s, and both cars getting through into the second part of qualifying, which is really good. Mick Schumacher there in P12, and it was really close and competitive, to be fair. We was all within the same tenth of a second, but we now move on to Q2, 2 more fresh set of soft tyres on the car. This was my first time lap in the session, and to be fair, it was a pretty good one in fairness. Mick Schumacher currently P12. Let's see what the first lap is as we run up to the line. We're going to go for a 1:13.0, and we jump into the top 10, which is absolutely insane. If we get Q3, that'd be really good for us. But with that said, we're now going to move on to our second run in Q2, and this one was my best lap of the session. So let's see what the lap was like. Will it be enough to get into Q3? We're currently P11. Let's find out. Let's go for a full lap of the Hungarian here today. Here we go, out the final corner, opening the DRS as we now run up to the line, and we improve by 2.5 tenths and move up to 8th place with a purple middle sector. We set a 1 minute 12.7, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. Others did improve afterwards, and we finished the session in P11, Mick Schumacher in P14, and to be fair, it was a great lap. You know, our Q1 time was a 13.1, and we found 4 tenths in Q2, which is a lot of time around here, so a really good lap. And unfortunately, we just didn't quite have the pace. The lap was pretty much perfect, so we wouldn't have gone into Q3, I don't think. You know, there was a 10th and a half to Ricardo, which is a bit too much. I don't think I made any mistakes to find that kind of time. So generally, I'm not too upset, and I think overall that was a great qualifying. But we're now going to move into a quick little interview.
Who would you say is your biggest rival at the moment?
It's hard to tell really, but you know, we are looking ahead of us. I think we narrowly missed out to Sebastian Vettel, so maybe his teammate Charles Leclerc could be an option.
Do you think this team are performing as well as they could do?
I think so. You know, I'm not in the team, but I don't doubt for a second that they're working hard to make things work well.
Appreciate your time.
And then finally, after qualifying, looking at the rivalry breakdown, Charles Leclerc does outscore us after qualifying, so he has a 2-1 lead after the very first session in our rivalry. But that is not all. We do gain a very small chunk of acclaim on our end, but we still lost so much in practice. Either way, we're now well on our way to level 18 as a team, and hopefully we can try and add on to that at the end of the race. But guys, that's it for qualifying. We're now going to move into round 13 for the Hungarian Grand Prix.
It's race day in Budapest as we get ready for another round of the Formula One World Championship. We don't expect too many retirements at this track. There are plenty of current and former drivers with flawless finish rates here. In particular, Ralf Schumacher. He made it across the line in all 10 of his Hungarian Grand Prix starts. 14 corners then for our drivers to navigate at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring today. It's 6 lefts and 8 rights around a lap here, with average speeds in the region of 120 miles per hour. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are 3 main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Perez, Sebastian Vettel and Ricciardo, Albon, Ocon, Gasly and Martinez, Stroll, Magnussen, Mick Schumacher and Giovinazzi, Norris, Sainz, Max Verstappen, they've taken a grid penalty, and Daniel Kvyat, Raikkonen, Russell, Grosjean and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay guys, it's time for the Hungarian Grand Prix, starting from P10 on the grid, benefiting massively from penalties after qualifying and getting the free choice of tyre as well, which is really good. We're going to be using that advantage to start the race on the mediums and then move on to the hard compound tyres later on. A one-stopper which is really effective around here, because those on the two-stop starting on softs tend to get stuck in traffic, so it's looking very good for us already without even doing a lap of the race. In terms of fuel, I'm going to run 0.6 extra, not a lot more, but I want to keep some in the reserve in case I have to defend on the straights because my wings are pretty high around here. We then talk about the forecast, no rain expected as well, so things are looking absolutely awesome guys heading into this one, and I can't lie, I'm feeling pretty optimistic. But with that said, let's get racing here for the Hungarian Grand Prix, round 13 I believe of the season, and let's see if we can try and have another big result. Right, here we go then. Let's get ready for the 5 red lights here. Let's see what kind of start we get. Lights out and away we go. Not the best, we bogged down a little bit. Can't forget as well, we are using the worn power unit, of course, power unit number 1. Into turn 1, there's some contact. Racing Point losing an end plate. Got to try and avoid the carnage if we can. Looks like we're up to P9, so we've made a good start here, gaining a place. Not sure who that was. I think it may have been Perez in the racing point, but he clattered the back of Esteban Ocon and lost an end plate, front right end plate to be specific. So we're P9 already. We've got double 2 wide here. This is going to get ugly. Just going to back off and hit the brakes. I'm going to be very cautious here. We're on a different strategy, so there's no need to rush. These guys are all on soft tyres. We've got Albon in front in the Red Bull on the softs into the chicane for the first time. Looks like we're going to be okay for now. Ocon looking for a move behind me on those soft tyres, but for now it's been a really good start to the race, and we're only 1 lap in, 34 remain, so let's see how this all shakes out. But so far so good, no complaints on my end, and we avoided the shenanigans at turn 1 with Perez losing his front wing, so let's get on with it. End of lap 2, things are looking absolutely perfect. We've stuck with the guys ahead, so we are going to have DRS, which is very, very important for us here.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Also worth noting, Mick Schumacher up to P11, also on the medium tyres, so we're both 1 and 2 in terms of medium tyre runners in this race. So if the strategy goes our way, this could be a great race for the both of us. Mick is 6 seconds behind us, so I think he's stuck in a big battle at the moment, but looks like he's come out on top, and it's good to see he's gone for the same strategy as me. So let's see if we can both score some big points in this race. At the moment it's showing to be a little bit hard to make moves happen, unfortunately. We're running in a DRS train, so we've just got to be patient really, and the opportunities will arrive at some point. Obviously strategy will help us out. If we have to wait until the pit stops, then we have to wait. You know, I'm not in a rush. We're in a good position here in this race. I've realised also Verstappen, he's right behind Mick Schumacher of course, because he had the penalty, so I'm expecting Max to fight his way through very soon, but for now we're looking okay still after 5 laps in this Grand Prix. Oh, there we go, Ricardo pits. I was just about to say I'm expecting someone to pit soon as it's getting to that stage. The Renaults always seem to pit quite early. They seem to have pretty high tyre wear. A few more cars in the pit lane. I'm trying to get a move on Albon here, but we don't have enough straight line speed, so we're going to have to just sit behind for now. But I am getting held. I do feel like I've got a better pace at this point, so I want to try and get a move on. Schumacher's still hanging in there. Verstappen seemingly can't get past, so we're looking good here in this race so far. Okay, hopefully the remaining soft tyre runners should box on this lap. Gasly and Albon in front. Will they go into the pits? Only Gasly. Albon surprisingly stays out. Unfortunately Albon will get DRS even though there's no one in front of him. But we are pretty close here. Can we get a move on the Red Bull? I'm trying. We're not really making a dent on the straight though. Down the inside we go into turn 1. Nice move. And we're past up into P3. Mercedes looking like they're staying out for now. Both cars. Maybe they're going a bit longer on their strategy. There we go, Lewis Hamilton in the pit lane. Bottas stays out for another lap. We're flying here on for a personal best. Now we've been released into clean air. We can really showcase our pace. And so far it's looking pretty good.
A new strategy is available on the MFD. Okay, copy that.
Interesting. Lap 18, so do half the race on mediums. I'll say yes for now. If I can't make it happen, we'll revert back to the original strategy. But P2 for us, Schumacher P4. We're going well this race, really well. And there we go, Valtteri now into the pit lane in the other Mercedes. So we are going to lead a few laps of this race, which is great. We've got really good pace actually. These tyres are holding on. Bottas onto the hards, just like Lewis Hamilton. So they're going to both try and go to the end of the race. But they are going to have substantially more worn out tyres. So when we get onto the hard tyres later on, we're going to be in a much...
Showing small signs of wear, power output will be down.
Yep, we're going to be in a much better position. So a 1-3 for us, Schumacher up in 3rd place. This is going really well so far. I'm really, really impressed. Leclerc overtakes Schumacher for P3. That's to be expected, to be honest. Leclerc on the medium tyres. He's on a 2-stop strategy, so I can just feel the rear tyres starting to let go a little bit. Even though the wear's not that high on the rears, just don't feel great. But I'm going to try and drive through it because we're going to benefit massively. The aim is to hopefully stay ahead of Hamilton and he doesn't catch us before we pit. That would be ideal. Schumacher still hanging on to P4 as well, which is really good. Bottas can't quite get the move on him, it seems. I'm looking forward to this. Really curious to see how both of our strategies work out because, I mean, Schumacher is 12 seconds behind me, so that could make a big difference in terms of how the strategy plays out, but hopefully it doesn't affect him too much.
Okay, we have an issue with the control electronics box. That's going to do additional damage to all other power unit components.
Well, I mean, we knew that was going to happen this race. That means the control electronics is above 75% when that happens. So we should still be okay to see this race out. I'm going to pro this out for 1 or 2 more laps. I'll try and drag this on as long as I can before Lewis arrives. I don't want to get overtaken though if possible.
Mick is in the pits. Mick in the pits.
Okay, let's see how that one works out for Mick, who's in the pit lane. We're going to hit at the end of this lap, as Lewis is now just within a second, so the timing is perfect. We've not lost any time on our strategy. Looks like Schumacher's P5 still here. Okay, he's just lost P5 now, but Mick is well in the mix, it looks like. Especially if Leclerc's on a 2-stop. This is going to be interesting. I'm actually matching my personal best on this one. I'm only a 10th off. The tyres are improving. They're coming back to me here. I could stretch it to softs maybe, but I'm not going to take that risk. The 1-stop, medium to hard is a well-proven, effective strategy around here. And I don't want to suffer too much on my tyres. So we're going to box. A little bit cautious, to be fair, on the pit entry. I went a bit too slow. But I'm hoping to feed out in P4. I think we can get out ahead of Sebastian Vettel here. I think that's more than realistic. 27 seconds to the German driver. Let's see. Here we go.
Go, go, go.
2.7, not the best, but we should still be okay to be out ahead of Sebastian.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
And there we go. Comfortably out ahead of the Ferrari. And Mick Schumacher is running P6. So we are well in the points. We have no more pit stops to make. This race is looking brilliant for us as a team here today. Okay, Charles Leclerc in the pit lane for his 2-stop strategy. This should give us P3 in the race. The question is though, will Leclerc catch us back up and re-overtake us? Across the line we go. New personal best, 1:16.1. There is Leclerc leaving the pit exit right now. So we are P3 for now in this Grand Prix. Both Mercs going to the end. Looks like Leclerc will rejoin just behind us. So he's on fresh mediums. He will catch us. The question is, can he pass us? That's going to be the real key factor here. We're going to have really good tyres for the rest of the race. These tyres won't go off because we've done half the race on the medium. So we're looking good in that sense. Engine wear is looking pretty high now, to be fair. 78% on the control electronics. This is going to be a tough one, but we should be okay to make it. I don't think we'll have any issues unless something goes horribly wrong. I believe 80% is when issues start to occur. So let's hope nothing does go terribly wrong in this race. Okay, this is the closest Charles Leclerc has been to me now. Lap 27. His pace is not lightning fast. It could have been a lot quicker. We're doing okay here. We're pretty much matching our personal best. So these hard tyres are really good for us. They're hanging on and they're giving us good pace, which is what I want. And Leclerc can't quite get close enough as it stands, but the danger isn't over just yet.
Some information on Norris. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
It's broken. It's absolutely broken for Lando. Meanwhile, Leclerc still hunting me down here. Just trying to make sure I save my ERS now and fuel for the main straight. Making sure my exits are perfect. That Ferrari has so much straight line speed. And also our straight line speed is very low.
Yellow flag.
Here we are, going to pass Lando's car here. Which means Leclerc can't overtake in the yellow flag zone. I'll say that. He's going to go for it. Surely he can't make that move stick. I've got the illegal overtake. Huh? What? You sure? Oh, I'm not having that. Leclerc can back off. I don't know what that's all about. How do I get penalised for an illegal overtake but Leclerc doesn't? That's strange. Oh, yellow flag. Oh, it's Charles Leclerc. He's out of the race.
Green flag.
That's going to give Mick Schumacher a free position. And that's the pressure off. We can now cruise to the finish.
Safety car,
Ooh.
safety car. No overtaking. Reduce your pace. Keep
Do
your
we
delta
pit?
positive as we form up. Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce
got
your pace.
17 seconds to Sebastian Vettel here. I might try and pit for softs. Schumacher up to P5. I'm going to pit for softs here. I'm going to take a gamble. I know I could be throwing away a podium, but this could also give us an even better result here. Right, here we go into the pit lane. Into pit road. Let's get this car serviced. Ooh, getting loose there. Come on, let's go. Slow it down. Okay, soft tyres. Hopefully the Delta will give us enough to rejoin ahead of Sebastian Vettel. This could be a cheap pit stop and also a chance at the fastest lap. Come on boys, we need a quick stop here, a really quick stop.
Go now.
Ah, there's Sebastian, didn't quite make it, so P4.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
We'll rejoin just ahead of Mick, but on these tyres, fresh, soft tyres, brand new set that we saved from qualifying. Thanks to the softer tyre allocation, we're going to be so quick on these. This could be a really exciting last couple of laps of the Grand Prix. Could we win the race? That would be unbelievable if we could. Okay guys, it's restart time, a really key point of the race. There's a few lap cars as well, which may hold us up. But here we go then, let's get ready. Let's see if we can line up Sebastian Vettel straight away for a move. Tyres are a bit cold, no DRS.
Green flag.
Look at the speed difference, we can't actually keep up with the Ferrari engine. Down towards turn 1. I thought about it, but tyres are not fully up to temperature. We'll try and keep the pressure on. We'll go for some audacious moves. Bit of lap traffic here with both Haas cars. Can we go around the outside of Seb through there? Maybe not, a bit too audacious. But we're right in his gearbox here. We're going to keep this pressure on. Nice and early. Yellow flag behind. Not sure for who that is, but something's happened. Just keeping the pressure on Sebastian Vettel here. Down the inside of the chicane we go. Nice move. Let's see if we can try and get the exact same move as we did on Sebastian Vettel last lap. I've got a lot more pace on these tyres. Maybe not quite close enough to the silver arrow there. Getting very close. Oh, pushing a bit too much there. Gotta be careful. Come on, we can do this. Bottas is hanging in there. Trying to work hard to see if I can get on his gearbox, but that Mercedes is really, really fast.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
Wasn't able to even hit a personal best, as in fastest lap on that one. This is frustrating me now. The Mercedes is using their engine power to stay in front. Of course, the works team, I'm trying to look for a place to overtake, but no way through just yet. I may need DRS to get the job done. That might be my way through. Last lap of the race. Got to try something here. We're a lot closer this time through this section. If I can just follow. Oh, I'm getting some dirty air through there. I'm trying it. Might as well keep it in rich mix for the last few corners. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, it's a big lock up. That's not going to help. I'm trying to nick a P2, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Mercs are going to hold on somehow. They're just so quick. So much better than everybody else. We are going to pick up, though, the fastest lap. I think. Yes, we do.
Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you've pulled through. Thank you.
It's a performance to be proud of today from our Hungarian Grand Prix winners. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
Oh my god, guys, what a race, what a result. In the end, we didn't get the fastest lap. I thought I did. Bottas, man, I swear he just held on so well. I couldn't quite get close enough, and it seems like the Mercedes had enough in their tyres to hang on. Also worth noting, their engine mode, I don't know what they've got compared to us, but they were just so strong on the straight. So, yeah, in the end, we finished P3. Unfortunately, we couldn't quite make it a win or a second place, but still a podium. Once again, we're back on the rostrum. It's been a few races, to be fair, but we're now back on it once again. Sebastian Vettel P4, Mick Schumacher P5 from 13th on the grid. What a performance from the second driver here today. today and scoring a big chunk of points really for the team, which is really, really good. Pierre Gasly, P6 ahead of Esteban Ocon, Alexander Albon, Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen scoring only 1 point here today. Antonio Giovinazzi misses out on the points along with Stroll, Perez, Ricciardo, Grosjean, Kvyat, Raikkonen, Russell, Latifi, Magnussen with Leclerc and Norris DNFing here today. We then move into the standings, and after that race we remain in third place. Hamilton overtakes Bottas for the lead, and we are 5 points clear of Sebastian Vettel, so we do extend the gap slightly. And also with Leclerc's DNF, we are looking pretty good. We're 22 points clear of Charles heading into what would be the Belgian Grand Prix next. So things are looking very, very positive. Also worth noting, Mick Schumacher up to P12, overtaking Ocon and Albon. So big points today for Mick in the office. But we then move into the constructor standings, and we are still in third place, 80 points behind Ferrari and up 280 points behind Mercedes, which is absolutely insane. And we've got a pretty good gap actually, about 60 points or 61 points I believe to racing points. So again, really good stuff. Things are looking really, really positive, and I'm actually thinking now we could probably hold on to third place in the constructors at least this season. I think it's possible. I think if we keep throwing on the upgrades, it's definitely possible. But guys, that is it for the race. We're now going to move into the laptop.
You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
We did, to be fair. The strategy was really, really good, and also the car was working well. It was really just nimble, light, easy to drive, and that's what you want.
Another podium. You must be getting used to it up there.
There's definitely been a few this year, but we've got to keep pushing. You know, we want to try and stay on top, and that's where we're looking for.
You're surpassing all expectations. Can anything or anyone stop you?
Well, there's always something that could stop us, but for now we've just got to keep going. The team is behind me, and that's what we're looking for.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Okay, so looking at the rivalry breakdown, we score a flawless 5-0 to Charles Leclerc, which is massive for the brand new rivalry with the other Ferrari driver this time. In terms of acclaim, both myself and Mick and as a team, we gain a pretty hefty amount due to that really strong double points finish in today's race. And then finally, in terms of the cash bonuses, we're going to see exactly if we achieved our targets. And we did all of them except for the Sudu one, which of course was achieved the fastest lap in any session. Unfortunately, we couldn't achieve that in FP1, and there was a few damage deductions there as well due to practice. But generally speaking, a great day at the office here today in Hungary. Okay, so we have 952 R&D points, which isn't a lot, but we'll try and make it work. We also have a press interview on the 8th and a season break coming up. So first of all, let's assign activities. We've got 4 days to assign a few things, and we're going to see what we can do before the summer break. So looking at the options, I am tempted to do probably one of the bigger ones. The visit sponsor headquarters would be pretty good, to be fair, so we're going to go for that one, and then we're going to add on driver promotion filming, so that's going to help us out in terms of acclaim, both for us as a driver and then also as a team. We're then going to throw on some upgrades. So currently we have this major aerodynamic one on the way. We're going to add to that here today, see if we can try and afford a minor one to put onto the car maybe. It looks like we've only got major ones available, to be fair. Actually, we've got a minor one here, so we might go for that one for the chassis. 825 points for the tyre wear. 90% failure chance. Do I rush it? Do I rush it? You know what? I'm going to try and rush it. We haven't rushed the part in a while, so let's hope that arrives in time. But there we go. We've assigned most of our activities and we're ready to go. But first of all, let's jump into a press interview.
Here we are in the HQ of our newest Formula One team. We've got an awful lot to talk about, so let's jump straight in. Would you say that it's important to develop your drivers as much as possible?
I think so. I think you've got to be honest, and you know, we're a new team. We can't afford to have the caliber of driver you'd like to have ideally, so you have to look around elsewhere for young up-and-coming talent and those who have potential, and it's important to develop those drivers into becoming the best they can possibly be. So yeah, for me, you invest in your drivers as well. It's important.
Your car's been able to challenge the very top teams. Is it safe to say you've surprised everyone?
Well, I hope so. I think we've surprised ourselves as well, to be fair, and there's plenty more to come in the pipeline.
Now let's talk about that new sponsor. How did that relationship come about?
Well, I think, it was the right fit, right place, right time. They had a good offer for us and they saw what we were doing, and I think it was the best thing for all involved. But ultimately, I think our results speak for themselves on track.
Would it be safe to say that in terms of team orders, your career comes first in your team?
I don't think so. We've spoken about this before, and ultimately, there's no team orders. We're a fair team. Simple as that.
Do you see your relationship with your second driver being long-term, or will you be looking for someone else if you're successful?
I'd like to say the latter, but ultimately, it's all about if, they give us good results, Mick's position safe.
Well, thanks so much, as ever, for your time. It's hugely appreciated.
Okay guys, interview over, and we also simulated the season break, and we're now back open again as a HQ. And good news, the upgrade that we rushed for the chassis has arrived. You can see here, for once, for the first time ever in this series, a rushed upgrade has gone according to plan and hasn't failed, which is really, really good. And of course, we've got the major aerodynamic upgrade on the way, and that will be arriving on the 31st of August, so just after the Belgian Grand Prix. But let's assign a few more activities before the Belgian Grand Prix. We'll go for some simulator training for Mick Schumacher, and with that, we'll now skip ahead to the very next race weekend, and that should set us up for the second half of the season. So there you go. Guys, that is it for me here today in this episode for the Hungarian Grand Prix. The next one will be the Belgian Grand Prix, round 14 of the season, and then closely followed by Monza at Italy. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, drop me a like, subscribe if you are new for daily F1 content on the channel, and I'm also trying to hit 50k subs by the end of the year, guys, so any help would be massively appreciated. And also, if you could hit that little bell icon, guys, to be notified when new content does go live, I'd also massively appreciate it. And on screen right now, you've got 2 videos you might want to check out. But that is it from me here today, and I'll see you all next time.